Welcome. In this video, I want to show you how to install a radiator in a C5 Corvette. As I may have alluded to before, my Corvette was overheating pretty bad at the track at Thunderhill in temperatures around 95 degrees. Obviously, there's some solutions out there, the best one being installing a bigger radiator. Bigger radiators come at a cost though. When you look at the market, as far as like searching around on the internet, you have DeWitt's, super popular, Ron Davis. There's a spec Corvette one that's around the $700 range. And then I came across one that's more reasonably priced, the engineered speed cooling or speed engineered cooling radiator, running around like 350 bucks. The stuff on eBay, I didn't even want to mess around with because some things are too good to be true. 150 bucks for a 2-quart radiator, it's not worth blowing my car and not being able to get home from the track. So, full disclosure, I reached out to the speed engineered cooling guys and I told them my story, told them what I was looking for. Told them I couldn't really find any good YouTube videos about like before and after in terms of like what their temperatures were before and what they were after on the track. Essentially, they offered to refund me the cost of the radiator. So as of right now, I have paid in full for the radiator, but with this video, I guess he'll send me my money back, which is cool. I've never done anything like this. I have 400 subscribers or something on YouTube. I'm trying to grow the channel, but YouTube doesn't give you any revenue unless you have 1,000 subscribers. So if it doesn't hurt you too bad, subscribe, thumbs up, and let's get to it. First things first, we're working with a cooled engine. I don't want to get burned by coolant. We're gonna loosen and remove the coolant overflow tank cap. From underneath the car, you'll notice this little hole right here. I've positioned a bucket to catch the coolant from that hole. And then up here on my car, there's a little, like a wing nut. Essentially, I'm gonna have to get pliers on there. Okay. And the coolant will drain. Essentially, after I replaced my water pump, I tried out a 160 degree thermostat and I refilled it with distilled water and water wetter, and then whatever coolant remained inside the motor could serve as a little bit of antifreeze. That's why it's clear. So 20 minutes later and we're still draining from the radiator. So I figured we'd just unbox this bad boy and take a look. My box got hella beat up in the mail, but to their packaging credit, the radiator itself is completely flawless. I was really impressed when I first opened it up. It is aluminum, and the thing is, I don't know if it's polished or what, but the finish on the sides is like a mirror finish. Oh, I have it upside down. That would be how we're looking at it. So it includes 2 brass fittings with pipe threads that will go here. The radiator hose ends are covered up. It's my first time working with like a valve like this, so I don't know if it's lefty, like which one is open or closed, because it like loosens when you tighten it, and when you go left, it's actually screwing in. So actually, I hear the coolant is no longer draining, so let's move on to the next thing. So to get the radiator cover off, we have to take the air bridge off. I'm using a 5/16 socket to loosen all the hose clamps. Or there's just 2 really. Disconnect mass airflow sensor. And that's off. Using a small flathead screwdriver, you can undo the wiring clip or harness holder over here. Get that out of the way. On each side, there's 2 10mm bolts that hold the radiator shroud cover down. I've got a extension and a wobbly end. Just zip those guys off. Same thing for the other side. With both of those off, this little guy comes out, the little finagling. And you have access to the radiator. Now is usually a good time to inspect the radiator for any debris, stuff that may be blocking the flow. As you can kind of see, my radiator's good, but there is stuff in the AC condenser, even though I have blown that out from the backside in the past already when I did the oil cooler install. So I'm going to remove the upper radiator hose. We're going to see if we can't unhook the AC condenser from the front of the radiator. It just sits in there on some tabs, I guess. Okay, that's the top tab at least on this side. And the top over there. I need some light. Okay, I got it off both tabs on that side. And on this side, it looks like I've got it disconnected. So the radiator and fans are, once I get these hoses off, should come right off. So let's get these hoses off. little bit of dribble. So I'm gonna set that there. I'm gonna get a flathead to help me kind of gently pry this away, because this is plastic. And I don't, there we go. Okay, nothing came out of that one. I decided to disconnect the fans from the radiator because I realized I had some stuff zip tied on the bottom and I don't have replacement zip ties, so I had to pull pretty hard on that, which was easy because I could grab it here and pull. And now I'm gonna go for this side. They just have to pull upwards because it's like sitting in some tabs. Okay, that was it. And now I feel the fans are disconnected, so to speak, from the radiator. Now I just got to do the lower radiator hose, and to get to that I'm going to go underneath. So to get at it, I'm going to use these trick little guys. Hoping there's not much, if any, coolant that comes out when we start to loosen this thing. Okay. Definitely an awkward angle to try to pull the hose clamp off. So I'm rotating the hose clamp around to the side, a little better angle to work with it. Of course, I'm blocking the light. Okay. There we go. Okay, hopefully we can pull it back now. All right, I was able to get it off, or the hose clamp to move back. But I might have to pry this hose off while holding the hose clamp. Super awkward angle. I don't even know how I'm gonna get up in there. Whoop! There, coolant came out. Oh boy. All right, I got a towel ready. You know what? I want the bucket ready. Not so sure how much was gonna come out. Woo. Well, I'm gonna let that drain. Oh, making a mess. I think it's coolant from inside the engine. All right, I pretty much got it off. Okay. Now we should be able to pull the radiator out. We need light. Seems like it's hung up on the AC condenser where the tabs are. Yeah, it was on the bottom tab for sure. How about that side? Maybe, maybe not. I want to show you something. Let's get some light. I'm gonna have a problem clearing that wiring harness. So the little piece to unhook it is in the back. Oh goodness. Down there. Whoa, we had it. Damn. Right there. I'm gonna unhook the wiring harness to give myself a little bit of free, a little more room. Okay, so quick note, I think my oil cooler was limiting how far forward I could come with the AC condenser, so we just popped the brackets off that. I was able to move it forward without doing anything too crazy on the mounts over there. I heard something like give way, some relief over here. That line, maybe with how it intertwines with the radiator right there. So we're gonna try to pull it out now. Okay, what I did was go underneath it. It was just pressure from the fan shroud, the AC condenser, like leaning on the radiator. So from underneath, I was able to just kind of shove the radiator up. It looks like it's past it. Oh, yeah, and it's gonna fall down. And this is surprisingly light now that nothing is on it. Oh, man, one of the tabs got caught. And another tab got caught. Oh, you suck. Ah. Woo! Ta-da! There it is. It's in really good shape. That being the engine side, this being the suction side, so to speak. There's really nothing to speak of caught in it. So yeah, let's prep the new one for installation. Now, I would be a fool if I didn't take advantage of this opportunity to try to blow as much of anything that's in the AC condenser out as I possibly could. Not the most amount of stuff, but it's some stuff. And over here, essentially that's all I did to assemble the radiator. I'm gonna leave those caps on, I guess. And I'm debating whether to put some cardboard on over the radiator when I install it to try to keep the fins straight. I don't know how well it'll work, but it only cost me some tape and some time. So here we go. Radiator hose is in the way. Oh, yep. And then clearing the mounting tabs as we go down. Ooh, gonna have to go underneath. Top and bottom, top and bottom, top and bottom. Okay, so I don't know what I did. I did some finagling, moved some things forward, moved some things backwards. It's in there. I got, you know, the fan shroud mounted in the little tabs, top and bottom. I'm gonna go verify everything. I got the AC condenser in the same position, mounted top and bottom. Yeah, so now I gotta go wrestle with the lower radiator hose. And the hose clamp unfortunately fell off the hose, so that's gonna be a biatch to put back on. Okay, I'm not even sure where we left off. I think I was trying to get the lower radiator hose on. The long story short is I think that the port, inlet, outlet, I'm not sure which is which, for the lower radiator hose is an inch or so lower than whatever stock is. I measured on the factory one, like around 7 inches from the bottom of the port to the bottom of the radiator, just roughly. And then on this one, I measured, can't flip the camera around, 5.5 inches, and that's significant. And the reason that's significant is right here, the hose is getting pinched. So if this was up higher, it would be a straight shot into the port. But I kind of found out that my, I guess it's called a lower, or no, it's called a radiator bushing or radiator insulator. It's totally missing. And I kind of figured it out later, but the long story short is I was able to get the radiator hose on by shoving the whole entire radiator assembly up an inch or so, and you can see how it's resting like on nothing. So went to the store, got my pre-mixed Dex Cool, and while I was there, I was looking for bushings. I ordered, I didn't order. The only things they had in stock were these, which I think are a little too big to fit in that hole. It's an actual bushing. And then two, the hole is a really tight fit for the drain port. So I'm gonna just forget about those. But I found these, what are these? Universal shock absorber bushings. And so I just got through cutting that to be a little shorter because this fits just fine. So I'm trying to ballpark how much height I want to add so that I'm not, you know, resting the hose on here too much. I don't think I'm going to be able to avoid a little bit of the hose resting on there, because that's probably why that like sheathing is there in the first place, for that reason, for less rubbing. But I'm gonna do what I can to reduce that as much as possible. All right, so I got a piece cut, got the locator, drain, whatever it is, plugged back in. And hose clamp hasn't done anything. I moved the hose down a little bit, hopefully prevent any issues with vibration, rubbing. And now I'm going to reposition my oil cooler because everything got pushed out due to the width of the new radiator. So there's adjustments that can be made up here, and on this side, as you can see, it's kind of slotted, so I can have it not resting like right on top of the condenser as it is over here. Do a little pushy. And now everything's all buttoned up together. What you didn't see was I put a 180 degree thermostat in from a 160 degree thermostat, and we're gonna put the coolant in finally. I like the color. It's like Kool-Aid. Okay, so my godfather showed up. We started to do the the fill and bleed procedure. Started up, everyone was seeming okay. Took it on a drive and was just watching the temperatures just climb like crazy, like 230 degrees. So there's either the thermostat I put in is bad or there's air in the system. So time to go have a beer, relax, let the car just cool down, check the level, and then watch some YouTube videos. But I'll be back. It'll be a flash for you, just a flash, just a moment in time. Just a simple transition, Well, at this point, it's been a whole weekend, and I have been pulling my hair out with this whole swap. It's been really just probably at the end of the day, I just needed to burp the system. But what I ended up doing was pulling the radiator out entirely and putting the garden hose through it just to make sure that there was no obstruction in the flow. It seemed to flow okay. I pulled the water pump out that I had. I tried running the old water pump with some new gaskets, thinking maybe it wouldn't leak. That was no dice. It leaked like crazy, so I pulled that all apart. Tried
tried a couple different thermostats I had. There was a video from Scoggy Dickens Parts Center or something talking about the different LS1, LS2, LS3 water pumps. I took their measurements at the end of their video, and I was dicking around with the 2 water pumps I had. It looks like the new Gates water pump that I have is an LS1 style. The difference is in 2004, they use more of the water pump from LS2 measurements, and I have a 2-piece thermostat and like thermostat housing outlet. So what I ended up running that has it working now is an LS1 style 1-piece outlet and thermostat. I hooked that up to a brand new Gates water pump. It was easy enough to just request a return or an exchange rather on Amazon. So I put in the new water pump with the LS1 style 1-piece outlet. When I filled the coolant this time, I cracked the passenger side steam port vent and let it fill until the water or coolant started to like bleed out of that port. After that, I tightened that down, started the car, ran it up to temperature, and from there it didn't really get too hot. It was sitting at like 187, like 195 on the coolant, and today is around 75 degrees. I let the car completely cool, filled up the coolant to the cold fill line, started it up, took the car out, and it was running beautifully. So next up, I'm gonna try to book myself for a track day, take it out, really test it out, and then we'll have our final results for this Engineered Cooling Products Radiator. That's all for now.